We're back on the SportsMax zone. We're going to talk some cricket now. Round 3 of the West Indies 4-day championship resuming on Wednesday after breaking in March to facilitate the test series between West Indies and England. All 3 fixtures in the round will be played in Trinidad and Tobago. Let's have a quick look at those matches now. Barbados Pride, the defending champions, against Guyana Harpy Eagles. Trinidad and Tobago Red Force against the Leewards Hurricanes, and the Windwards Volcanoes taking on the Jamaica Scorpions. Defending champions Barbados Pride registered wins in the first 2 rounds and sit atop the standings at the moment with 42 points. They are just under 4 points ahead of Trinidad and Tobago Red Force with 38.6, and a huge gap to the Leewards Hurricanes in third on 24.6 points. The Harpy Eagles on 21.4, and then bottom of the table the Windwards Volcanoes on 10.8 points, and Jamaica Scorpions bottom of the table at 8.8 points. Now for a preview of round 3, we are joined by analyst Nikhil Uttamchandani and journalist Lennox Aldrich. Lennox is at Queen's Park Oval, where Guyana Harpy Eagles will be taking on Barbados. Lenny, are you with us?
Yes, I am, lads.
Yeah, how are things shaping up there? Because we had like a near 3-month break from the 4-day championship. I'm suspecting that the players may be a little rusty. I don't know how much work they had been doing in the past couple of months.
Well, I can tell you, Lance, from the flight coming down here to Trinidad, a couple of the teams are on the same flight, and I've spoken to some of the players, and they just want to play cricket. They just want to get the ball rolling. The Leewards, especially, they want to play cricket, and Trinidad as well, because they're up in the standings, and everybody just wants to play cricket. I spoke with Captain Craig Brathwaite of the Barbados team as well, and the guys are just eager for some 4-day cricket.
Yeah, I heard the Jamaica captain, John Campbell, speaking in a radio interview in the past couple of days, and he was suggesting that they feel as if they're starting off from square one because, you know, we're almost 3 months now since the last game. And while the Jamaicans' form had been poor in the first 2 rounds, he feels this is an opportunity to refresh themselves and come up with some good performances toward the back end of the season.
Well, for sure, and they've reinforced their batting as well, bringing in Brandon King and wicketkeeper Aldane Thomas. And John pretty much hit the nail on the head. He said, forget the 2 rounds that are gone. Focus on the next 3 rounds and get some wins under their belt. And they pretty much have the batting to do it. If you look at it, they have 2 West Indies batsmen in their team. 3 actually, including John Nkrumah and Jermaine Blackwood. So they have the batting. Their bowling has been decent as well. So the Jamaica Scorpions may very well surprise the Windward Volcanoes this time around.
Okay, Lenny, they're mentioning about 3 West Indies batsmen in the Scorpions lineup. Let's move over to Nikhil Uttamchandani, because the Barbados Pride has 8 test players in their roster, plus some other players who played some white ball cricket for the West Indies as well. So a very strong roster, Nikhil, although I heard the head coach, Vasbert Drake, suggesting that he isn't watching names on paper. He wants teamwork and team production, Nikhil.
Yeah, well, I think Vasper Drake is always a strategist when he goes into any tournament, and, you know, has the backing of all his players, not only those international players, but definitely, Lance, I think it will make a huge difference when you think about the names of a Shea Hope, a Roston Chase, a Shamar Brooks who enter the 4, and then even those that have excelled in previously, the West Indies Test captain Craig Brathwaite, Raymond Reefer, who I think has an extra chip on his shoulder, because I think really and truly he should be on that plane to the Netherlands in the West Indies 1 international team next week. But that's a story for another day. I think the 139 runs and the 7 wickets that he's got, he's been a real standout in this tournament. And then they've got some other players who will want to prove a point. I think conditions will challenge them against this Guyana team, being very spin-friendly at Port of Spain. Guyana, obviously, who we know as a spin-dominant team. So I think that will be a good test. But I think the fact that they've got Brooks and others who can play spin well, it will help their cause.
And, you know, speaking about conditions, I'm going to pose this question to Lenny because he is on location. So, Lenny, give us just, you know, some insight into what the Queen's Park Oval is looking like.
Well, I also spoke to one of the groundsmen, and he said that there's something in it for everyone, pretty much. And he says that, I mean, if you bowl well, you'll get wickets, and if you bat well, you'll also get some runs. So, at the end of the day, who plays the better cricket on the day, I mean, will come out victorious. But we're not too sure about the other venues. I know that Brian Lara, generally, he gets some runs down there as well, and down by Diego Martin. I don't know about that venue, but I'm sure that Bat will want to conquer ball down there. So we can expect some heavy scoring in this round because the teams just are rearing to go.
All right, so Nikhil, we heard Lenny's assessment. He's lucky to be there in Trinidad and Tobago right now. Call tomorrow's game, Guyana versus Barbados.
Well, I think given the international players that the Barbados Pride have, I would probably give them the slight edge. I think obviously cricket is a game played on the day, but I just would put them a bit past. I think the likes of Kamari Boyce, a 22-year-old spinner that's been included, Jomel Warrican and Shambo, the three main spinners in the Barbados Pride team. Whoever gets the nod, I think will have a big part to play. But Guyana have some interesting decisions to make as well. They've got opener Tajnari Chandapal, who scored a mammoth 163 in the warm-up match. Does he get the nod after struggling in the first two series? Or does Tevin Imlap, who also got a 50 in that game, Ronsford Beaton has come back into the fore. So I'm really happy and excited that we have having these discussions, because I think it means that the West Indies 4-Day Championship, is doing well for our overall West Indian cricket brand.
Yeah, Nicola, I note as well that as far as domestic cricket in Barbados is concerned, there is the Barbados T20 Cup Championship going on over the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. A lot of the players involved in this 4-day match coming up would have been playing T20 cricket for the past couple of weeks. How prepared are they for red ball cricket?
Well, obviously it's a difference in format, Lance, but I think any time in the middle will really benefit these players, the likes of Shea Hope, Craig Brathwaite. Basically, all of them would have played in at least one or two of these BCA T20 Cup matches. Shea Hope got a 40-odd, I think, of just 23 deliveries. Craig Brathwaite has been in the wickets and runs, leading Wanderers Cricket Club. So Roston Chase has been playing for Empire. All of these players have had that bit of advantage, I would say, playing. But I mean, you look around the other islands and other teams, Trinidad and Tobago also had their tournament as well. So all of these players will be rearing. They've got home advantage. I think it's going to be a tough challenge for all. I don't know how much that BCA T20 Cup really gives Barbados the edge, because I think all the teams will be seasoned and ready to go.
Yeah, if you look at the point standings, which shows the Barbados Pride on top and Trinidad and Tobago in chase, how much do you think it will be advantageous to Trinidad and Tobago in the closing 3 rounds to be at home in their own conditions as they try to chase the leaders, Barbados Pride?
I think massively. I mean, this is a team that's proven that they can excel at home. These surfaces, both at the Queen's Park Oval and Tarouba, will spin. The Diego Martin Complex, I've been privileged during the Under-19 World Cup to have a good look at it. It's an excellent facility, which I think favours fast bowling. But I think the fact that they've got Imran Khan, the captain, who's got 10 wickets at 9.8, and then also Brian Charles, the off-spinner, who's got 11 wickets, that will play a big part. Aki Hossain has come back into the fore for them in this round. And obviously Anderson Phillip, the leading wicket taker, before he goes off to the West Indies, they'll have him as well. So they've got tough calls to make because of the amount of options that they have. But I think if you had to pick one team who probably would have the biggest advantage, is Trinidad, because of the international players that they've got, but also the fact that they're at home and know these conditions extremely well.
Yeah, and they've got Shannon Gabriel back in their setup as well. Darren Bravo is part of their setup as well. Let me go quickly to Lenny, though, because Lenny, the Scorpions would be pretty disappointed that they're bottom of the table at the moment. But as the captain, John Campbell, said, 3 rounds of cricket still left to be played. An opportunity for them to raise themselves in the point standings. Second from bottom, Volcanoes, their immediate opponents. But how confident is this Jamaican unit that they can lift themselves from the cellar position?
Well, they're pretty confident because Coach Coley, he's emphasizing execution. Because if you look at the Jamaica Scorpions in the last 2 games, they batted well. They scored over 300 runs against Barbados, but they didn't finish well. And that is what Coach Coley is pushing for these guys, to finish well, because their bowling unit will hold up. It's the batting, sometimes they will collapse. They move from 300 and something for 1 to 350 all out. So he wants a team to just execute on the day and just execute the plans, and they will come out on top. However, I also spoke to the Windward Islands coach, which is Shirley Clark, and he says that the fact that Andre Coley and Andrew Richardson used to coach the Windwards, the players know them very well. So he says that that is an advantage to him. So it's going to be an interesting contest.
Yeah. All right, Lenny, we're going to leave it there. Nikhil, thanks for talking to us as well. We'll be closely monitoring this 3rd round of the CWI Regional 4-Day Championship. As we said, all of the remaining rounds will be played in Trinidad and Tobago. Thanks, gentlemen, for talking to us, and we'll be keeping in touch with the 3rd round matches starting Wednesday. Yeah, go to break. Back with more on The Zone after this.
Thank you for watching SportsMax on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay informed.